Hello, all you denizens of the internet. Welcome to another episode of the Get Geek podcast. This is episode 13. We've had a theme for the last 4 episodes, and we had a pretty good response to our review of House of X, Powers of 10. This week, we're going to do something a little bit differently. This is our Geek Out episode of the podcast, so what we're going to do this week is going to be more of a free-flowing conversation. We're just going to talk about what it is that we've been checking out over the last couple of weeks, what we've been nerding out about, movie, TV show, comics. This can be absolutely anything. Everybody, you can pretty much have, like, within reason, a couple of things that you're geeking out about, a few things that you're geeking out about, and this is something that we're going to do periodically, so you guys can get to know us a little bit beyond some of the stuff that we nerd out about usually. But anyway, that's just explaining the format of this episode for this week. And as always, hello everyone, I'm Jose.
AJ.
Wolfie. This is Walter.
Eli.
And yeah, we're geeking out about stuff this week. So
You want to go ahead and start?
let's get right into it. I will start because I think it's the most important and awesome news of the week, and this may be the most contentious topic. He already knows. You already know.
Nice. That was very well done.
The Robert Pattinson, Pat, whatever name that you've given to him.
Pattinson.
Rob Pattinson. The official reveal of the bat suit.
He should have been Robin.
The quick screen test. You think he should be Robin?
I'm just saying because of the name. Robin Pattinson.
Robin Pattinson.
Ben Affleck. You know what? I'm getting off the rails. I'm sorry. I'm
You could just
jumping
change
in.
it.
Sorry, go ahead.
You could just
Please
change
let me
it. You
not
could change it to
interrupt.
Robin Pattinson.
I don't want to interrupt.
But so like I'm geeking out about that because I'm very excited about this movie. The more I hear about it, the more I see about it. My research over the last couple of weeks and months, further and further into Robert Pattinson as an actor, as a fan, and Matt Reeves as well. His take on Batman as a fan. I think the suit looks pretty awesome. It's not perfect. I think that like some of the elements that they think make it look a little bit more like the Daredevil costume. That seems to be like one of the hot takes on it right now.
It's not the super clearest view of the.
It's not.
Of the thing.
We barely even got to see the cape.
It's not.
It's very blurry to begin with and stuff.
It's not. But from what you saw, I kind of liked it because it had a tactical, like almost armor feel
Arkham.
to it. Right?
It's
Yeah.
like the Arkham Knight.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right.
Because he had like big shoulder pads, like it looked like.
Well,
And,
I feel like it looks a lot more like the Christian Bale, like Batsuit from
from the Dark Knight Rises.
Rises. Yeah,
Yeah, it
was a
does
lot
have
more-
a little bit of that take.
tactical and being able to like turn the head and stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I like about it. Honestly, I've liked that sort of tactical looking Batman
Yeah.
suit. That's almost. It looks like something that like the military would maybe make
Realistic.
sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's realistic. That's something that's a great way to like kind of put what I like about it. I like the bat signal because even though it has that kind of weird element that we can't exactly identify what it is yet, there's the rumor, of course, that it's the guns that killed
I
her
like that.
parents.
I like
That came
that
from
idea.
Kevin Smith. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's
he-
where that
he
he
did,
was the one that noticed it?
No.
Or, like,
He's the one that actually he did
or
a
designed it.
comic book.
Oh.
And in that comic book, in that story he actually took pieces of the gun,
Melted it down.
and put it on the signal. You
Well,
know?
actually, it's
the logo.
It's the lore of how like if you guys I forget like when this actually started, but the original like bat suit, the gray suit with the blue cape and the yellow logo in the center, that yellow logo is supposed to be bulletproof. And the whole idea of it being yellow is so that like people aim for that yellow logo,
And of course,
and
it'll
the
bounce off, right?
the bulletproof part of that logo is supposed to be the metal the metal from the guns that's melted down.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know about this whole history of like it in the comics until recently, which is a really cool element.
Yeah,
I saw somebody else mention that it looked like a knife of some sort.
Yeah, did you hear that theory that it could be like actual batarangs?
I like that idea because it looks like you can take it out. It does look like you can take it out. That'd be fucking freaking cool.
That'd be effing friggin' cool. But like frack, yeah, like Battlestar Galactica, right?
My bad.
But no, like the suit actually looks really cool to me so far. Robert Pattinson looks good in the suit, whether you like the suit or not. I think he kind of suits the character
think so
well.
too. He has that jawline.
Yeah, like that's definitely another hot take I kind of saw. It's like, okay, the jawline works, but that's kind of a requirement to be Batman. You have to have like a Batman-esque jawline, like a big ass chiseled jawline. If you can get a little dimpled chin, that like usually seems to like work pretty well for the Batman look, kind of like Henry Cavill and his Superman look. But like just everything about that little screen test, kind of like how when we saw long ago Joaquin Phoenix and that little quick take in the elevator from way back when. Yep. It gave me the same kind of really good vibes that quick take from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker screen test from way back when kind of gave me. So that I'm geeking out about that, and like just to talk about the possibilities. I was talking to you guys about this earlier, and like this can be like you can agree or disagree on this one, obviously, or anything that I've said, obviously, but this is maybe even a little bit more contentious. I think that this could end up being the best Batman movie that we've seen so far because I feel like Reeves is a fan. I feel like he's more of a fan than any other director has been so far. Like we discussed earlier, Christopher Nolan, amazing director, not a fan of Batman. Not really a fan of Batman. Like he
not
probably
a super
knows
fan.
of it.
You know,
not a
he's
super
probably
fan.
He's probably a fan now,
Casual,
but like not.
more
Yeah,
so,
he's
right?
a casual.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he did like a ton of research for those
for sure.
movies. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why he was able to pull it off so well. But like we've talked about this before when we discussed how like Ben Affleck was the best Batman. Right, we all kind of agreed on that. I think the last time we brought this up, like Bruce Wayne. Remember, we had like Bruce Wayne and Batman, and Ben Affleck was the best Batman. Right.
I still personally think that he is
best Bruce Wayne as well, or
yeah, I think so too. Just because he embodied the Frank Miller Bruce Wayne and Batman, in my opinion, I think he looked the part the best. And here's the one thing:
the older
his
Bruce Wayne.
Costume was the one that's closest to the comic book. If you think about all the other Batmans, none of the other Batmans looked like the Batman from the comic books.
Like the Frank Miller design.
And his costume was straight up just
it's a spandex, basically.
It's a spandex with the proper logo from the comic books, the face and collar.
With bulletproof elements, because the helmet was bulletproof and all that.
Like it's the one, like thinking about it right now, as you mentioned, the whole, costume thing, I think the Ben Affleck one is the one that looks the most like a comic book Batman.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I do like the way this one looks.
Yeah.
Irregardless of that
real.
fact. Or
seriously.
Irregardless isn't even a word. Regardless of that fact, I do think that this is a better looking costume than most of them. I definitely like the 1989 Batman. That one was cool, like for what it was. And, I love the Christopher Nolan movies, but I wasn't always a fan of the bat suits that he had because I thought the helmet was a little too big. Like, it wasn't my favorite, but I like the way this one looks. And like just to kind of like close off my point about this, I guess is like, I think this is going to be a great movie because we haven't had those great Batman moments in any of the other Batman movies to a great extent. Ben Affleck, had his ass beaten moments in the warehouse that were really cool, and there were some elements here and there in the Christopher Nolan trilogy that were very Batman-esque. But we haven't gotten the detective aspects, and we haven't gotten moments that are quintessentially Batman. You could almost take a lot of his movies and just swap out any other superhero that's human and beats people up, and you wouldn't get exactly the same result, but like it might not end up being a hugely different movie. So that's why I think this one we might get something better, more special, more unique to the character. So that's one big one for me, big geek out.
For me, I'm going to reserve my judgment on this just because we haven't seen enough yet. All we have so far is just the the screen test and whatnot. It's a cool looking outfit. I think the biggest difference with this outfit is that it looks very sleek, which means he can move around in it, right? but it's also armored at the same time.
Yeah.
And it looks like the helmet is like in some of the other movies, especially in like Dark Knight, that helmet was attached to the cape, so you couldn't really move around. This one looks like he can actually move his head in it,
which was like a plot point,
right?
Yeah. The other one,
and I think in one of the Tim Burton movies, the way he took off his mask, he actually had to rip it off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think like the Christian Bale suit in the Dark Knight is the first suit where you can actually turn his head.
But he barely did it at the very beginning. Remember?
Right. Yes. And then in Dark Knight Rises, they perfected it with basically a motorcycle helmet.
Yep.
And then but then they kind of went back to the fixed cowl with Ben Affleck, where he had to like turn his like he can turn it like 45 degrees. That's it. So you have to go 45 degrees and then turn his shoulders as well.
That's not functional when you're fighting. You know,
not necessarily, but as long as it doesn't look weird on screen.
I know,
right?
But look, this looks like he's got the benefit of the armor, but at the same time he's got the mobility to move around in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So hopefully you're going to see a lot more of that choreography. You know, in terms of fighting, instead of he can actually do more things in the suit.
Yeah, I mean Ben Affleck had the best action of Batman, but let's see if this one can give it a run for its money. Probably not in brutality, but in other ways, maybe like you said, in grace.
But they did say that this was going to be really dark and brutal.
So there might not be like that much fighting, even like for a Batman
we'll
movie.
see. I have my judgment reserved for sure, but I do have high hopes because yes, Robert Pattinson is one of those marquee actors, and you know whenever you have a fan that's at the helm, of a film, I think that like it's in good hands. It's all a matter of like what does DC do? As long as DC keeps their hands away, like
that's the big if.
Yeah,
right?
DC or WB? I think
Yeah,
WB is the problem.
I guess it is Warner Brothers. Yeah, it's Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers.
It really
that
is.
kind of messes things up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Andre has a hot take on Warner Brothers messing up his DC movies. So
I have hope for that though, because they've been more hands off recently. Not just with Joker, but with a little bit of Shazam, a little bit of Wonder Woman, a little bit of Aquaman. They kind of,
I guess,
they let them mostly do it their way since they didn't have to have the connectivity anymore.
yeah, hopefully it continues.
Yeah. So what else, guys? Like, what else is have you guys been nerding out about, geeking out about, enjoying this week?
So I've been so I've been geeking out.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to talk about this. So, but
anyway,
that's inside joke.
I caught myself, but it's okay.
No, so I've been like nerding out, geeking out, whatever phrase you want to use over Gundam actually. So the last couple of weeks, like taking a break from other stuff like comic book movies, shows, and live action stuff. I got like kind of back into Gundam, and I really wanted to like kind of rewatch a series. And I went onto Netflix and put on Iron-Blooded Orphans, which I don't know if any of you have ever seen it or heard it.
I've heard about it, and I have it on my queue, but I still haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
Right. So, like, I loved when I first saw it. They only have 2 seasons, and I remember I loved it because it was so different from all the other Gundam in a couple of ways. One, this is a kind of interplanetary kind of conflict. Before, it's always the Earth versus the space colonies. This one is the Earth versus the Mars colonies, right? So like Mars is already like have people living on Mars, and there's like trade issues and stuff like that. So then you have a little bit of class.
I was just about to say that.
So there's a little bit of like class warfare going on, where like on Mars, you have these like subhuman kind of people that they're not considered full humans.
Because The Expanse.
God, can you just?
Sorry.
What the hell is The Expanse? I've never heard of The Expanse.
It's on Amazon, dude. It was a sci-fi show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
It's a live action one. We mentioned it to you before, but definitely check it out. And I'll stop harping on you.
No. It's cool.
It's Earth, it's Mars, and it's the belters in between.
Yeah, like the asteroid belt people.
Yeah.
Who have they have like Creole accents.
You're
it's
literally
wild.
describing The Expanse.
That's really interesting. I wonder which one came first.
Probably Gundam. No, The Expanse was a book, so it might have come first.
That's true.
But it doesn't matter.
Right.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit more about Gundam.
So the thing that it departs from isn't that. That's one aspect where it's an interplanetary conflict. The second part is that there's no beam weaponry. So every single Gundam series that has ever happened in manga or anime, whatever, it's always beam rifles and beam sabers and stuff like that. This one has no beam weaponry, and it's because of the name. It's Iron-Blooded Orphan, so everything is clanking of iron axes and maces and swords and
it's like
and
Gundam
stuff like
Knights.
that. So when the Gundams fight, they're literally trying to chop parts of the Gundam off with these bladed weapons, and when they're shooting their rifles and stuff like that, they're actual bullets. It's not beams, which is cool. So that's another departure. And the third departure is that's a very brutal show. Okay. The animation style is still very much classic Gundam and anime. Mm-hmm. It's not jarring, It's at first glance you think that it's still kind of like a kid's animation and stuff like that, but it takes. The kind of the main thing that happens is that these group of children who end up taking over a ship and taking over some Gundams become these mercenary pirate / mafia kind of group where they go out and do mercenary jobs as well as assassinations and stuff. Mm-hmm. One of the main characters, Mikazuki, he's a cold-blooded killer. And he's the ace pilot of the show. Every single show has its ace pilot. This is the ace pilot of the show, and he has no qualms about just shooting someone dead with no mercy. There's no exposition. There's one of the first killings that he does in the show in the first season. He gets challenged to a fight by a general from the other side. Mm-hmm. They fight. He wins the battle, and then the cockpits open up, and the general from the other side, he's kind of giving some exposition, and Mikazuki's that's enough, and he just shoots him 5-6 times, caps him right there.
Nice.
Like
Amos.
And he's completely emotionless.
The Expanse.
All right, I guess I'm gonna see The Expanse.
We're so terrible right now. Go.
But the thing about the show is that there's a lot of drama going on. Most of Gundam shows, while there are dramatic deaths that happen, let's say in a space battle, one pilot's Gundam gets destroyed or machine gets destroyed. In this one, you have people that get assassinated, people that get betrayed, people that some characters' deaths that really punch you in the gut. And Gundam isn't known for that.
Interesting.
Game of Thrones.
It actually, yes.
Not The Expanse.
It is
Also like The Expanse, but Game of
but
Thrones.
it really is like Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, you have characters that you completely fall in love with, and you would never think in a million years that they would die, and that happens in this Gundam.
I kind of it does sound like an element of a lot of different good shows.
Yeah.
So
it sounds good.
Maybe the shows grab some stuff.
One thing that I will say, there's a reason why there's only
two.
Yeah. One thing that I will say is there's a reason why there's only 2 seasons, and it's because it's not Marvel. Some people just can't come back to life, and with the amount of stuff that happens in season 2, it's just there can't be a possible season 3.
So I think the reason why it's in my queue is I think you recommended it to me.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
What service can you watch it on?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix, and I think it's on Hulu also, right?
It's on Hulu also, yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because Mobile Suit Gundam is huge. There's a gazillion series.
By the way, one thing that I just recently found out, of all franchises in the world, bar none, it's number 15 as far as revenue made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, along with along with Star Wars and stuff like that.
Years,
probably Pokemon and stuff like that, right?
Pokemon is number 5.
Yeah, Pokemon's got to be on the list, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
So getting into Mobile Gundam, you can get into it easily with Iron-Blooded Orphans?
Well, see, here's the thing. Iron-Blooded Orphans happens in it. So one thing about Gundam is that you have a lot of series that are fragmented with their own universes.
Okay.
This Gundam universe is completely separate from anything else. It has its own universe and its own thing, and it doesn't matter if you've never seen Gundam before, which is why I have recommended this one the most to a lot of people, because it has great animation, really, really good story, amazing battles, and you don't need to have any prior context ever.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans, and you are going to watch
Expanse.
The Expanse. You already saw Game of Thrones, so I can't recommend that.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
So yeah, that's what I've been on about for the last few weeks.
Sweet. That sounds really good. Like I said. What about you?
Yeah,
Actually,
man.
I have two
I see a
things.
smile on your
I have
face.
2 things.
2 things you've been nerding out about?
Yes.
Let's start with the first one. Which one are you
well,
answering?
my first one is actually like a song, and I know. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Wait.
You can speak.
Okay.
Pregnant pause.
We're just moving the mic to you a little bit
Okay.
closer.
It's a very well-known song, and I'm pretty sure any of our listeners have probably heard it.
I've never heard this song before in my life.
I don't know how you haven't, but it made #1 on. Yeah. Actually, all of the people at this table are old.
Wow, really?
Even you, Andre.
No, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
And that's AJ to you.
Huh?
That's Sir AJ.
Metatron.
Good day, sir. Good day.
From what universe did you get that name, huh?
Huh?
All right, but your song. What's your
Okay.
song?
It made #1 on Billboard 200, and the album was "Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial." Yeah, it's a lot of people have been weirded out by that name.
That's an
And say,
interesting
"Don't-"
name.
Yeah.
Wait, can you repeat the name again?
Please excuse me for being antisocial.
Okay.
Yeah. It was released in 2019, I believe, and he didn't even start off with a single.
So what, he dropped the whole album at the same time?
No, what? No, a single as in like he didn't drop a song like
Before that, is this his first single then?
No, that isn't his first album. I believe it was. I don't remember the name of the album, but what I mean by like single is he didn't come out with like a really big hit with by
Okay.
himself.
Oh, okay.
Solo?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm talking about today. I'm talking about The Box. I'm hoping you guys have heard this.
The Box? No, I haven't heard.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
a-
heard
it's
The
a-
Box?
Nah,
I've
not
seen
at all.
The Box.
Wait, what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Who's The Box?
Oh, God.
Is that the name of the
What's in
song?
the box?
Is
That's
that-
the name of the song.
Oh, so who's the name of the artist? The artiste?
Roddy Rich.
Roddy Rich.
I've been hearing
2
that name
Cs.
for the last couple of
The
weeks.
last name.
actually, yeah, I have, and I mean, I have no idea. I've just been hearing the name. I don't know
he
what he looks
premiered-
like. Haven't heard any
He
music.
I think he premiered on Jimmy Fallon. And
That's how I heard of him because I saw the
promo.
the promo for it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I'm just gonna be reviewing it. I have a lot of stuff to go through, so bear with me.
All
Like
Dive into the song.
when I dive into a song, I dive like straight through, like to the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, bear with me.
Tell us about the depths.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by just reading through my bullet points. I liked how he had very high vocals, especially with the windows squeaking all throughout the song. None of you guys have heard it, so you guys won't understand what I'm saying at all.
Okay. You said squeaking?
Yeah,
There's like a tornado, like the Wizard of Oz or something.
it's just like basically,
in his house.
yeah, basically.
Like that?
He's just squeaking. According to J. Will for Real on Twitter, I believe, he thought it was Roddy Rich when he was cleaning a mirror. So it's very weird. I like his motivation for his song, and I respect it because he wants to. He has a chance at getting the key to the city of Compton. And he wants to change it. He's gonna buy every single business and property in the city.
Compton?
Yeah, and
Really?
he's gonna put a $100 million bounty on George Zimmerman, who shot and killed Trayvon Martin.
That is deep.
That is
yeah.
that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you said Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Tourism. That's
Which-
kind of
The kid
crazy.
that got killed because he had a hoodie.
Yeah, which if you guys aren't familiar with this, Trayvon Martin was visiting his relatives, and during a physical altercation, he was shot and killed, obviously, which is sorry to the parents. He was shot and killed, but then in 2013, when the trial had ended because of he was real the accusations were cleared. He had nothing on him because it was considered self-defense because he was injured during the physical confrontation with the kid.
Or so they claim.
Claim. Then after that, he sold artworks, and he actually sold the gun that he used to kill Trayvon.
Yeah.
For money.
He's trying to make a lot of cash off of this situation.
To sue the parents for false facts and
defamation,
false evidence, and abusive process. For $100 million. So it's very, very deep and very serious.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is not what I expected from this song.
Yeah.
Not at all.
The more you know.
Just to go back to like the song, he got serious after about rapping after a 2-week stint in county jail as a teen. Growing up in Compton, he admits that he has PTSD because of all the violence that went on. So, yeah. And going back to the Zimmerman thing, I think he stated that in 2012, the new Black Panther Party offered $10K for Zimmerman's capture.
I remember that actually.
Yeah.
I think we're like all kind of like Googling this whole story right now as we speak because this is like breaking news. So have you read any like online reactions to this bounty claim?
No, actually, I just wrote most of this down, so I haven't had a chance to go through
to do some research.
Yeah,
definitely want to see what's up with that. I mean, that's like
it's very deep.
Very
deep. He never expected the box to be a hit. He wrote this at 7 a.m. and I think it was he quote unquote he made the song and just decided I made the song and just decided to put it on the album. I didn't even have it as a single before the album came out. Okay. So going back to what I said before, yeah. And he said, I just want to keep doing music for my people and explaining how we live. That's it. His second best song, Ballin', by the duo who appeared in more than one song, High Fashion and obviously Ballin', Mustard and Roddy Ricch, both of them, two very great artists, worked together on his top second song, Ballin', and it made top 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. So he has two songs that are still pretty high up there in terms of the chart. It was right above Bop, one of my favorite songs by DaBaby. His third best song, as I stated before, my favorite, is High Fashion. And some of his like primary influences was Young Thug, Lil Wayne, Future, and Nipsey Hussle, which Nipsey Hussle and Roddy Ricch. Sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correct.
I think it's Roddy Ricch actually.
Roddy Ricch,
if I remember hearing it, yeah.
They created a collaboration song, Nipsey Hussle and Roddy Ricch, Racks in the Middle, around 6 months before Nipsey's untimely demise. So that was Nipsey's last song, and obviously you can tell that he's been through a lot, and I respect him. But if anything, he does watch Family Guy to like.
I still have to watch the new seasons.
Yeah, according to him, loosen his creative juices. So that's my first one.
It's an interesting muse to get to like all that stuff that he started rapping about. Interestingly enough, it's because of Family Guy being all over pop culture. That's kind of how he got to all this.
Yeah.
So.
My second best thing.
Yes.
Is the Stranger Things trailer.
Ooh, that's right. It did just drop. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, neither have I.
I haven't seen the last season of Stranger Things either.
I literally.
Yeah, okay. I don't have time for TV, man.
You can't see the trailer then.
Yeah, you can't.
No. I don't. You guys already know that I don't like to see trailers in general, and as soon as I saw it coming up, I had to scroll past it.
Does that mean I can't say it?
Yeah, you can. Of course, you can.
Okay,
cover your
ears.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Ears covered.
So, the Stranger Things trailer.
One second. Let me actually leave because I can still hear everything. So, I will not be a part of this geek out.
And Gabe has left the building.
Yes.
USS Nautilus has submerged.
So, in this new trailer, which I watched without volume because I was in a hurry, it's a very weird trailer, teaser, might I say. It shows a snowy setting, and Russia, obviously, Soviets,
that's right,
and a bunch of Soviet guys just holding their guns,
in Russia,
right? In Russia,
as they're wont to do.
It shows them I don't know, shoveling a rail track, a rail thing, and Hopper takes off his mask and he's bald and he looks like a Soviet. He looks like a Soviet.
Looks like a Russian.
Yeah, Russian.
So he survived. Okay.
He's probably drinking vodka or something.
Okay.
It's kind of weird that they put that in the first teaser trailer, right?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm surprised myself.
Yeah.
I'm almost not surprised because that is the least likely permanent death.
Yeah.
In recent years, besides
John
freaking Snow. It's just
I guess.
Well, Jon Snow, he did get stabbed, you know, and he did actually die.
We all knew he was, but permanent, like I said, least permanent death. Even if you, I don't know, even if someone actually believed that Hopper was dead, I think most people were like, you're not actually.
Okay, well, yeah, I get that,
at all.
But an explosion and being stabbed are a little different.
But yeah, we all knew Jon Snow was going to return. We all knew Hopper was going to return, and that trailer does not give away much, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty interesting.
AJ's gonna watch it right now. If you want to watch it.
Wait. I saw it.
Yeah, you did.
Oh boy.
So we're just waiting on AJ and Gabe.
Gabe's not going to see it.
No, he's not going to see it.
Well,
he's going to stay away from it because he hasn't seen season. What is
3.
it? 3, right?
Season 4 now. Yeah.
Yeah, something like
that.
Yeah. Well, he didn't see the last.
This was season 3. The last season was season 3.
Yeah, it's season 4. That's true.
Mm-hmm. So season 4.
ST4
is coming up now.
Drawing on
all right.
McCarthyism.
Yeah.
That looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ is looking at it now, and he is smiling, I guess, laughing.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Usually when he does that, that means he's coming up with a really weird idea.
I'm gonna bring Gabe back into this because I think okay, let's put it that way. So no, it's all good. So have you guys heard of this news that happened in New York City not too long ago this week in the subway with the 2 teenagers?
No.
Have you heard of that? So these 2 teenagers decided that it was going to be funny to dress up in hazmat suits.
Okay.
Jump on a subway with a bucket that was full of which had a hazardous sign on the front, right?
Oh.
And it was full of Kool-Aid and soap. And
okay.
So they get on the subway.
Oh, so it looks like some ooze or something.
Well, here's what they did. They jump on the subway, hazmat suits and the whole 9 yards with this bucket, right? And they air quote accidentally spill coronavirus all over the subway.
Oh my god!
That's
They caused a panic in the subways.
When was this?
This was I think Wednesday or something like that.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Please tell me they got arrested.
Well, the last time that I looked at this, the police were looking at this with great interest. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because the video went viral and the kids actually spoke about this, and they said the reason that they did this was because they didn't they didn't want the views. It's because they wanted to highlight that the news coverage about this was so over the top and people were overreacting to the coronavirus, which the last time I checked, it's 60,000 people infected, mostly in mainland China, but I think like 1,500 deaths or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like 1,500 deaths. And the thing is,
we just
it's
had
a matter
one in
of
France.
Yeah, the thing of it is just, a lot of people are making, some, I guess like, oh, this is the media and stuff like that, and like more people die from the flu. Well, more people do die from the flu, but it's only because the flu is infecting a whole lot more people than coronavirus is, and then the coronavirus itself, it's how fast it's spreading and how quickly people are dying when they get it.
Well, you look at it this way. One of the Hong Kong scientists said that if this is left unchecked, we're talking about it could potentially infect 60% of the global population.
Kill 2.
Yeah,
kill 2%.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, so it's a little bit crazy. Okay, there's a reason why I brought this up. Okay, because and again, I'm not making light of this and stuff like that, but I find it interesting because it's a virus, and in Wuhan, I think they walled off or they closed off that entire region, right, so that nobody can come in and nobody can come out because of the contagion, right? That reminds me of a show that's coming up very soon, a show that we saw last year called The Kingdom in Netflix, right? So, so in that one, and see, Andre knows what I'm talking about because he likes that show. That show is about, it takes place in feudal Korea, and the contagion is the zombie virus, and you've got the feudal samurais, and well, they're not called samurais in Korea, right? But it's a sword type feudal type thing, but with zombies. And the show is fantastic, and it's coming back season 2 in March. So that's something that I'm really, really excited about. But the real thing that I really want to talk about is that we went to go see the Sonic movie. And I pretty much thought the Sonic movie was pretty great. Now, not the best movie in the world, right? But then again, Sonic really doesn't have much of a story. We're not talking Academy Award type of story and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty basic. It's Sonic and then Dr. Robotnik trying to get Sonic and all that other stuff.
I mean, you're talking about like just the history of Sonic,
right? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So the story for the movie kind of basically follows that. There's not really a very deep story behind it. It's Sonic.
Yeah.
Robotnik finds out about Sonic. Robotnik wants to get Sonic.
Right.
And that's the whole movie. I'm going to tell you this, though. We need more Jim Carrey, man. Jim Carrey was a blast in this movie.
I gotta say that, like, just from the trailers,
the trailers don't do him justice.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that just from the trailers, like looking at him, I just got that old school The Mask and Ace Ventura kind of feel where like the facial over the top and all that stuff. Like, man, like I really, really love.
Like there's a part where he's messing around with the technology. And it's like he's doing the VR thing where he's running.
No, don't say anything.
No. I'm not gonna spoil it.
I'm gonna see this movie tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
No, I'm going to now.
Well, you have to. But that VR part, right? Where there's a I'm just gonna say this. There's a Jurassic Park part. That thing is classic. I am telling you.
Hilarious.
He's the best part of the movie by far.
Jim Carrey has long been one of my favorite unsung actors in all genres, and I'm happy to see him. I heard this movie kind of returns him to his like '90s comedic roots a little bit.
He goes off the hook.
And I was gonna say like he's on that really good Showtime show that's basically him playing Mr. Rogers, Kidding. Which is really good, but like,
he's like this big artist now, right?
Yeah, he does some of that. Well, he's like all spiritual. He's like an artist. Like he's a completely different person than he was like in his early days of fame.
Oh, but he's hilarious in this movie. He
He
goes full on Jim Carrey.
It looks like
He doesn't hold back.
It looks like
it. So, but like I said, and they do set up
I'm curious
for a
about
sequel.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. I heard that it's like 100% sequel from what I'm saying.
There's no doubt about it.
And it made money, didn't it? It's
actually
projected, like over-expected?
It's projected to make for the 4-day weekend $60 million.
It was really good.
And they project like 40 something.
Right. Originally they projected 40. It's over exceeding what they did.
Yeah.
This is actually the best video game adaptation
ever already, right?
Right now.
Opening,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Opening wise,
Has to be.
it far surpasses anything before it.
Including
You know what I'm
Pikachu? Pet Detective?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Including Pikachu.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's really out there. When we went to
I'm
go
glad.
see it,
I am very, very happy about that.
when we
waiting
went
for
to
a
go
decent
see it,
adaptation.
there were a lot of kids.
Even if it's Sonic.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
There were a lot of kids
Yeah.
in the audience, and that last scene they just went nuts. But the thing that I found out about it is that a lot of the parents were laughing with the movie.
Yeah,
so-
I think I'm going to buy tickets right now.
So that's really cool. The last thing I want to talk about, and that's something that Gabe you have already seen, is Birds of Prey.
Yes, I was actually going to ask you. I was going to try to let you have a little bit of a segue. Do you think that like the reason Sonic has done so well is because of how Birds of Prey has underperformed? I think that might be a factor, because it's between those two movies right now this weekend,
But you
right?
know
I'd
what?
say it's part of it.
I don't, because I think they're two very different audiences. Birds of Prey is a rated R movie, whereas
I
Sonic
guess,
is more of a family movie. You
That's
know what
true.
I'm saying? So I think the problem with Birds of Prey, and I think we talked about this earlier, is that the marketing for this movie was horrible.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
wrong.
And to the point where now they're trying to do a Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow type of thing, where they're actually changing the
Yeah.
name of the movie at the movie theaters. It's no longer Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It's now Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Which was a stupid name to begin with. I don't know why they went with that.
Well, actually, that was Margot Robbie's idea because she likes long names in movies.
That was a stupid idea.
I
Margot Robbie.
don't know why.
That's one thing that she's the producer and everything. She chose the director and the whole nine. So this movie is kind of her baby.
Yeah.
So I can see it.
But it's
I
her
understand
movie
it.
also because she's the featured person.
Yeah, it's her
there.
movie too. Yeah,
You know?
I think I wonder if like there was like a part of this whole like, Margot Robbie.
She was fantastic.
She was fantastic, but her trying to make sure that the other women in her production are like kind of getting the limelight and not her. Maybe she was trying to do that.
Yeah, but then they played such little parts in the movie.
I don't want to say that they played little parts, but
weren't-
the idea of Birds of Prey didn't come together until like the last 15-20 minutes. That's why if I came through earlier, then it would make sense to call it Birds of Prey. But
Yeah, but you know what? Huntress didn't
like Justice
have
League.
a big part in the movie. Who else was there?
Yeah, despite how central she actually was to the plot.
Yeah, she didn't really play that. It was basically Harley Quinn,
yeah,
and stuff. The choreography was great.
the fight choreography was great.
Yeah.
I really, really loved.
Definitely.
The prison.
The prison. Oh, man, it's so good.
Now the question that we had, especially AJ, where is Batman in all of this? And I understand you don't want to put Batman in, but like he said, there was a full-on invasion to that police station, and those
That's
cops,
true, actually.
Those cops, do they not
Yeah.
have guns?
Yeah, that's true. That is very
Those-
true, actually.
And the other part that AJ said, the very end, where there was this big army.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, we're going in generalities.
That's still kind of a spoiler.
It's
Yeah,
not
that
that
kinda
bad.
is.
Giant
Nah.
police station invasion.
kinda is.
and
Don't worry about
army.
that. So,
Okay.
it's funny, but at the same time, if you've been watching like the show, Harley's big thing on the show is that she's so minor that like Batman won't even bother with her.
But-
so maybe there's like that element too.
But
It's
here's-
funny you mentioned that because Margot Robbie was actually concerned about the animated show, and
Really?
she actually had to go to the producers of that show because her Harley Quinn had to be different from the one in the animated show.
Really?
And they
I
showed.
felt they were so close.
Well, and that's what I think.
Yeah, I thought that was great though
But-
because the show was so good.
According to what they said and how she came out of this, the show deals with more sexual themes where she is more violence and profanity. And
that is true.
With that she's like, it's okay. That's a different take.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I'll concede that like Harley's not quote unquote big enough on the radar for Batman.
Yet.
But the things that go on in that movie are definitely Batman-worthy things of investigating.
That's true.
Like
That's true, but you know what? But you can't fault them. You know what I mean?
I know.
I know. They didn't have Batman yet. You know.
But just like Big Brother, where's Big Brother?
To be honest with you, this goes back to an earlier point. I don't know how many episodes before. I know I have mentioned this before, but I feel like this is like the perfect kind of scenario where I think I'd be okay with multiple versions of Batman in the DC universe. We can have, Rob Pattinson and his like Batman solo films, but then have like Ben Affleck do like these cameos like he did in Suicide Squad. It'd be cool to just have like one little scene here and there. He doesn't even need to speak. They just need to show him like flying around kicking ass.
But
I think that'd be cool, no?
Going back to the Batman thing, Harley didn't. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but Harley didn't even really do anything to the cops.
But that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, this is Gotham. Batman watches Gotham even more intensely than a hawk stalks its prey.
Maybe he took a vacation that week.
Yeah.
And everything happened in the daytime too, though. Everything happened in the daytime too. He was being Bruce Wayne.
Okay, but at the end.
So wait, Batman doesn't come out until the nighttime. He's not
No, Bruce Wayne just gets on a bike.
I'm a criminal. Then you know what? I'm not criminalizing during the nighttime. I'm going to the day.
And that's why they have the Birds of Prey and the Bat Family and all that
at
stuff.
night also.
Yeah, the ending sequence that was at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, that's messed up. Like, because there is something that I wanted to talk about with the ending, but we definitely cannot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Please don't do it.
You're talking about the line though at the very end?
No, I just
We have to leave?
just a couple things. No, just a couple things with the ending.
She did mention Batman, right?
She did mention Batman. Yeah.
Was that the same line as in the one from the animated show? I'll just say that.
No. It's kind of like a little bit of a thing that I have.
But
something that happened in the film that I just I don't understand, and I guess we're gonna have to talk about it some other time.
Yeah, we'll talk about this offline. All right. So that's man. It's all good.
So,
All right.
And the buck stops here. So, because Supernatural has been going on some very annoying hiatuses. So while I've been going through withdrawal,
Hiatuses. Why hiatus?
but it's
Supernatural's
because it's the final
anonymous.
season. They feel like they need to drag it out for as long as they can. So there was already the Christmas hiatus. That was extended even longer because they wanted to spend more time with their family. Now they're moving it to Mondays, but that Monday doesn't come until a week or two from now? Maybe somewhere. Maybe I'm not exaggerating. It's been a couple weeks since the last episode, and that was.
And this is also President's Day,
Gamblers.
so if they're using holidays as an excuse,
Yeah.
they might not be on this Monday.
Yeah.
That too, but this is so many hiatuses. It's debilitating.
They're dragging it out, and they figure, you know what? It's the final season, so we'll just chill. What are they gonna do? Fire them?
It's like waiting 4 years for One Punch Man season 2, man.
You're losing your viewership, bro.
Come on,
I
bro.
don't think so.
they're not losing anybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, if it's the finale, they probably won't lose anybody. Or the final season.
All right.
They haven't lost you. The super fans are the only ones that made it this far, I would say, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think anybody else is.
Yeah.
No,
All
we're
right.
trying to catch up. At least I am.
You're almost. Well, you guys.
What is
You
season
just
11?
started season 11.
Yeah, so we're catching up.
Let's go.
Yeah. So during this hiatus, God, this isn't even a hiatus. I've been watching other things. I've been watching for real this time. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I will talk about that. That was Eli showing me something on his phone. I'll get to it. the actual ending to BoJack Horseman, the show on Netflix. And I gotta say, not that I saw it. It was really weird because what they did I remember talking about this a while back. So they split the last season up into 2 halves. At the end of the first half, you have this big story about BoJack about to break. And it's like, the calm before the storm type thing. It took an episode or 2 for the storm to get into full force. And then there's a part where it's like, oh, he played it off really well. Maybe everything will be all right. And that, because what happens in this season is he's finally starting to adjust to not being an a-hole 24/7.
Okay.
He becomes a college professor. He's left Hollywood.
Wait, the horse becomes a college professor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And acting. He's an acting professor. And he's not half bad at doing that job, actually.
Alrighty then.
That's
Hey
a
man,
departure
this
from what I've
is
seen.
this
He's grown. I've seen some of the first season.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very far into it, but
this universe has a
Yeah.
talking dog called Mr. Peanut Butter, and he has his own show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the most far out thing.
Right.
what? Aaron Paul is his weird roommate or something like that, right?
Aaron Paul is on the show?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
He's the human that's his friend, right?
yeah. Oh God.
Always wears
his
the
name.
skull cap or
Oh
whatever.
How
God.
many seasons is this?
It's
Maybe
5, right?
5 or 6.
I think it's
One of those two.
somewhere around there.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So he's
yeah,
finally
that's actually
adjusted
pretty
to
good
being
for
a college professor. And so the story is one of his good friends because he used to be on a 90s sitcom called Horsing Around.
Okay.
It's a very intriguing premise.
Very lost. We continue, please.
Imagine somebody not knowing what we're talking about. Like, what the hell are you talking about here? You know?
Okay, so yeah. He used to be on a 90s sitcom called Horsing Around. And one of his co-stars who was equally as unsober as him, she starts to kind of get off the perpetual bender, but then he kind of is that bad influence again, and she ODs on him. He covers it up in a really bad fashion.
Wait, he actually dies?
No, she dies.
Actually dies? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He tries covering up, and that's basically what this last half, the repercussions of that actual cover-up. And it looks like he's about to get away with it. Because the first interview about it is like, oh, well, if you play it off just right, you can make it look like, oh, well, I'm an addict myself. I'm trying to make myself better, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And it goes fine. Then the second interview comes. And it's just completely throws his career for a ringer. They outline him as like a sexual predator. They
Continue. I don't even know what to add here.
that how long will he really stay sober?
Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Will he really stay sober, and will he ever offend again? And he does go to jail, obviously. And he actually loses the royalties to his sitcom, which was what was keeping him around for so long. Like, that's where he made most of his money. Mm-hmm. And it ends with, it's just like, it's the aftermath of it. And it's like, all right, well, finally got it done. And it was a really good, the ending title, the title for this last episode really sums it up well. Let me see if I can actually pull it up, because I really like the way they named it. I'm going to make noises until I find this.
I got it here.
Make noises, yeah. I'm
It's
like
nice
hunting.
while it lasted.
Yep, there you go. It's been nice while it lasted.
It's a good sentiment to express about a show that's like kind of kind of sad and dramatic at times.
Yeah,
like
it's very,
but also nice in how it entertains you and
it's a very deep show.
gets you into the characters.
Yeah,
It is a good ending based on what I know of the show, even, and I don't know nearly as much as you. A good ending.
lots of
title.
closure. He gets closure with the people he screwed over, and kind of like
That's so nice.
I don't want to say like,
It's a decent amount of people too.
the way in which he goes
the whole
about
season?
that isn't so nice. Because, okay, so mind you, he was in a bad place. The closure with the people he screwed over in the past, they're people that are dead already.
So how do you get closure with dead people?
He had a weird I'm about to die dream because he almost drowns in his old pool.
Does he see dead people?
Like, it's like one of those
His
things
dreams?
where it's like,
Is that how he gets closure?
it's like in your head, and like, it's one of those weird things where it's like you're on death's throes and you have like your life flashing before your eyes.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
like teetering on the precipice of dying and not dying.
Yes.
So
So he gets closure in that sense. And he has closure with the actual people that are still alive. And it's just well done.
Okay.
Very well done.
okay.
The other thing that I've been watching, it's called V-Wars. It's on Netflix. The only reason why I started to pick up this show is because the main character was from another show that I used to watch. His name is Ian Somerhalder. It's a good show. It's a far cry from the old show that he was on. That would be Vampire Diaries.
Lost.
Really?
He was on Lost also.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's the first time I ever seen him. So
Interesting. Yeah, very different show. A lot more bloody. And it follows the basic. There's an outbreak of there's a vampire. So the whole thing is with this show that he's a scientist, right? And he's kind of an activist when it comes to like climate change. And one of the things that he talks about is, what was that disease that came out of melting ice? Like
Coronavirus?
no.
Sorry.
Not that.
Oh man, I don't remember, but
the melting ice one.
I heard. About
I
that.
remember.
They
Actually,
found the disease like was dormant.
Yeah,
for
dormant in
frozen
ice.
millions of years or
Yeah.
something like that.
God, I can't remember what it is.
So there was a real world version of that, and in this show there was a vampiric iteration of that.
Frozen vampiric disease.
Yes, they unearth it, doing some experiments, and it's basically spreading, and it's becoming one of those things where it's not just they're mindless freaks. They're mindless freaks who are developing their own society. Well, they're not even mindless freaks, really. They're just, at first, they're very beast-like, because, they're drinking blood, help us. But then, there's already like so it's obviously the humans versus the vampires, but there are three types of vampires. There are the ones that are just out to kill you. There are the ones that get you high while they drink you, because what it is when they go to like drink your blood, they also like inject a toxin.
This is you're watching some crazy shows over
Yo,
here.
what in the world?
Well, I mean that's also vampire lore. That's actually a thing
the
in vampire
drunk
lore.
thing?
That was a joke in What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, I think.
Still haven't finished that show.
There was an episode where they went with the elder vampire, and they ended up going to a club. And well, you know what happens at clubs a lot of times, and they drank from those people's blood, and they were like raving, basically, like this elder vampire who looks like Nosferatu and speaks like blah, basically. I want to drink your blood. Is like raving with glow sticks. So it is vampire lore. He is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then the third one, which completely took me by surprise, is there's a Blade faction.
I like vampire
Daywalkers?
shows that have different
like
classifications of
vampires that hate other vampires
Vampire
and
lore.
want to kill vampires.
I like, by the way, I like the energy vampire.
Oh yeah, from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, I
That's
love
that's
that
my
one.
favorite faction.
There's an episode where he faces off against what's her name? So Saturday Night Live cast member. I think it's Vanessa something, not Vanessa Bay. I can't remember her name, but I'll look it up. But like, she's an emotional vampire. So she
I
like
gotta watch
tells
this
sob
show.
stories and like all this other stuff and sucks the air out of the room by getting everyone's sympathy for like her cat that's sick
So they
or
face
something
off?
like that. Yeah, they do. There's more to it, but yes, they do face off and like basically just like try to complain at each other until like one wins or the other wins. So yeah,
I have a lot of energy vampires in my job, so
that show is fantastic. And you haven't even seen the
know what energy
vampiric.
vampire is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait until you see the Vampiric Council. I'm telling you, once you get to that episode. That's all I ask.
That's like early on, isn't it?
No, that's like
That's I
that's
know
later
which
on.
one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking
you
about.
do know. What, okay,
Yes,
all right. Well,
Anyway,
yes. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
Moving on.
of the vampires.
Yeah.
nothing to see here.
Duels.
Moving on.
And so the last episode I watched,
Speaking
they
of
were
Daywalker.
They were just starting to form their own nation because they're kind of seeing themselves as like you know how like mutants are going to be the new humans?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they see themselves. And so they're like, if you want to mess with us, sure, but we're organized now. So watch your back.
House of X, the vampire show.
Kind of, yeah.
It always comes back to House of X, doesn't it?
Recently, it does.
Yeah, and so that's what I've been geeking out on.
That sounds.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry.
There's
Wait,
one
wait.
more thing. There's that one
Oh,
more
that's right. I saw the flash card that you put up.
Yeah.
Eli.
So,
This is like Steve Jobs. Just one more thing.
nah, man, Columbo. Just one more thing.
Columbo.
Dude,
I like that reference.
what are you watching?
I like how you went that far back.
This is your kid.
I'm telling you.
Just one
I
more
haven't
thing.
even watched Columbo. You know what I'm saying?
That show's awesome.
It is.
All right. Anyway, just one more thing.
DB Legends has debuted a new card, a very
Yes.
awesome card, and that card is Android 21.
The transformable.
Yes.
Oh, wait, can
it's-
you explain to those of us that don't know what DB Legends is?
So it's a mobile game that you can download for iOS, Android, and basically you can get cards. Like you can get Fusion Android 13. You can get Super Perfect Cell when he's showing down with what is it, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and you can get Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and basically you can
Different
swap-
characters, right?
yeah.
Different forms, different.
It's a
canon.
it's a tap swipe
There's
game.
GT characters.
Okay, cool. No, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Fighting game,
That's awesome.
right?
Yeah, it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
And it's like a card collecting game almost too, kind of, right? Because that's all the characters that you collect are cards.
Yep. And they just came out with Android 21.
It's kind of like a card collecting, like turn-based kind of.
Well, Dokkan is more turn-based,
Yeah.
This
I
is more
find.
like, have you ever played the game Contest of Champions by Marvel?
Nope,
Okay. Jesus Christ. What fighting games have you played on mobile?
none.
Okay, it's lost on you.
All right. Well, I'll explain. The gameplay.
I
super
like
simple.
when it comes to mobile, I'm like so addicted to Clash Royale that I have no
Still?
time. Yeah, it's.
Wow, that's been a long
It's just
time.
you know what it's I'm deep in Clash Royale. Halfway to a level 13 tower, which is literally the highest level that you can get to, and I have a maxed out deck. It's just I'm too deep. I'm in too deep.
That was me with Clash
level,
of Clans. I
I'm
was like that
level
with
-1, so.
So, well,
Okay,
this
that
game,
means you haven't downloaded it, huh?
this game, the gameplay is actually super simple. It is
Yeah,
kind of real time.
It's a real time card based strategy game. You
Yeah.
have 8 cards in your deck, and you gotta, fight against someone that has 8 cards. But everything's gonna be based off of your tower level and your card level.
Clash of
Clash
Royale.
Royale.
Excuse me. No, the DBZ game. It's kind of real time, but it's swipe, and your character is just flying in the air. You like swipe up to get closer to the guy. You swipe to the side. You can
Okay, yeah.
dodge. Swipe back.
So
you
there
get
is
back.
some like real time action.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
tap
Yeah,
to
yeah.
punch, and then you select cards for special moves.
Okay.
So it's like
Cool.
it could be like a special combo, a special energy blast, or a special like their special blast, basically.
And they get like a finisher also. Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's dope.
legendary finish for some specific characters, including one of the most strongest cards in the game, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Not your Vegeta.
I don't know. The tier list likes to say otherwise, my friend.
Well, guess who's better than your Vegito legendary finish, huh?
This is
My Super
by the
Saiyan
way,
4 Goku.
This is dinner time every night. So
Super Saiyan 4 Goku?
just so you know.
You mean the one that I have?
This clash,
Oh,
This discussion.
I've heard it many a time.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, and I don't mean to offend you, but guess where your Super Baby 2 is, huh?
Higher than your Gohan.
Oh, snap! The gauntlet has just been thrown down.
Guess who's
You
higher?
walked yourself into
And
that
guess who's
one,
higher
boy.
than your Super Saiyan, Super Baby 2, huh? My Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta,
You mean the one that I have?
but the one that you said was garbage.
I didn't say it was garbage.
You said you didn't want it.
No, I said that I preferred to get the Goku card because I like the Goku
And guess who's
card.
gonna be Tier Z? Android 21.
Good. I'm gonna get it soon.
No, you aren't.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't.
I already told you about the hack. I'm gonna get it.
I already did that hack. I got that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
He got the hack.
You know
he
what
got
I'm-
the Super Saiyan 2.
what I'm
And I got
enjoying-
BoJack.
Well, it's
I'm
not a
enjoying
hack as
watching
much
the
as it is.
waveform on the computer here, like grow to like as large as it can from this combat. Just watching the waveform go crazy.
I
It's
got
like
better.
shouting everywhere.
I got better characters than you, and I limit. And I
Are you
recently,
sure about that?
I got my Golden Frieza up to 7 stars.
Tennis match.
Are you sure about that?
7 stars
How
for
many
my
times-
Goku too.
I'm
You know
pretty
what?
sure I
I'm gonna
have.
step in. I'm gonna step in. We're gonna get off this, and I want to see you guys go at it
This is a
one on
debate
one right
for
now.
like
Andre,
another
15
podcast.
Love.
Yeah, this is like a challenge that you could put on like Instagram or something like that.
Eli
Like, who is the
for
true
love.
winner?
I don't know how
All
teams
right.
work.
Barring
It's at
all
4 love.
arguments and
It goes by
debates,
15.
the new Android 21 card is insane.
Better
from
than
what
your
I've
Vegeta.
seen.
Advantage Eli.
Android 21, of course, being the character that was introduced in.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and it even has the tag on it, the card.
Yep. Really insanely powerful. Transformables are always powerful.
Yeah, including my Gogeta, the one that you hate so much,
Oh yes, the bane of my life.
the one that you don't have,
Game,
the one that's
Eli.
annoying.
Game,
Alright.
set, match.
Either way. Oh, and alongside coming out with Majin Android 21,
We're now in overtime.
they remember they also came out with the
Shinchen
event,
Run.
the regular
Oh, yeah.
event Android 21.
And then Sin Shenron, which sucks.
no,
is coming out.
oh, that didn't come out yet.
But it is going
Are you
to
guys
come
starting
out.
your own episode?
What a debate, guys.
That should be an entire episode.
They should do kind of like a crossfire where like one of us
Break.
is like the referee and then you guys just go at it, like
no.
going back and forth to see which one of you guys
While
works first.
playing
It's
each
almost
other.
like the political
It has
debates.
to be while
Yeah,
playing
that's
each
what I'm
other.
saying, Crossfire. Same thing, crossfire.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should do
definitely.
a PvP
You have to
on
play each other
mobile
for this.
and somebody narrates it.
Oh, okay,
that'd be
that'd
cool.
actually be really cool. I
Do
like
screen
that.
recording
I really like that.
ideas.
Anyway.
You're so dead.
All right.
What a way to end this one.
Says my
Yeah.
win streak.
Yeah, we ended it with a,
I don't think so.
serious
I
battle.
think so.
Because that win streak is about to end.
All right.
All right, people, come on, break it up. We're gonna really like
to your
probably
corners.
do this as an event because that sounds like a good idea and the only way to settle this debate. We have to like do an event for all to see. But yeah, I think we had a pretty awesome conversation about the stuff that we were really like enjoying,
Geeking out on.
geeking out about the last couple of weeks, if you will. I deserve that, I know. But yeah, another interesting conversation in the books. So once again, all of you out there, thank you for joining us on another episode 13 of the Get Geek podcast, on the Geek Out episode, which we will be doing again in the future. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have any suggestions for stuff that you're geeking out about. We'd love to talk about it. And as always, signing off, I am Jose.
AJ?
Wolfie.
Walter.
Hold on.
No,
Not again.
don't you dare.
Here we go.
You can't do that.
Oh, okay, so, all right. That's not what I thought it was.
You
So
can't
it's
do
okay.
that.
Okay.
Eli.
You done did it twice anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for joining us, and as always, everybody stay out there and stay geeky, my friends.